Well, hello, welcome. Today we're in our next to the last day in Job as we continue our chronological journey through the Bible. We've heard from Job's three friends. We've heard from Job responding to them. We've heard from Elihu. They've all had their say. Now it's God's turn to speak. God addresses Job really in two different discourses. Uh, these two discourses span 4 chapters. God speaks directly to Job. He doesn't reply to anything that the three friends or that Elihu have said. He doesn't even directly respond to Job's speeches. God doesn't talk about the problem of suffering or what its purpose may be. God doesn't declare Job innocent of the charges that his friends have brought against him, nor does God make any attempt to defend himself regarding what's going on in Job's life at this point. God just simply starts asking questions, one after another after another. God questions Job with queries that make it obvious who is almighty, who is all powerful, who is all knowing, and who is not. God's purpose is to bring Job to repentance so that Job can be reinstated, both of which we're going to see happen in tomorrow's readings. God speaks to Job from a storm. He doesn't rebuke Job for claiming his innocence and his integrity, but he does reprimand Job for presuming that he can dispute and argue with God as though he were his equal. Job gets the message probably pretty quickly. By the time God is done, Job humbly submits to God and his wisdom, realizing that he's totally dependent on God. That it's through God alone that he receives his blessings. Though Job certainly stumbled and faltered, he never lost faith throughout his trials. Remember what Job said in chapter 13, verse 15. He said, even if he, that would be God, even if God slay me, yet will I love him. And of course, God never wavers in his love for Job either. So God opens this, well, I guess you'd say with a bang. He starts out by saying, who is this that darkens my counsel with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a man. That would be like girding up your, pull up your long flowing robe so that you can move around freely and so on. Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Job had thought actually that this was all going to flow the other way, hadn't he? He figured that he was going to ask God some questions. Well, it doesn't really turn out that way, does it? God begins by asking Job questions about the creation of the world and everything that's in it. He wonders where Job was when the heavens were made, when the seas were given their limits. He wonders if Job has ever commanded the morning to appear, ever journeyed to the very deepest parts of the ocean, ever stood at the gates of death, ever comprehended the vastness of even just the earth itself. God reminds Job that Job wasn't around when the light and the dark were separated, when the systems of weather, of snow and rain and clouds and storms were set up. He reminds Job of the vastness of the heavens and all that is in them, and wonders if Job controls them. Can Job control even the storm or any of a myriad of other things that make the earth produce its fruit? And then God moves on to the animals. Does Job provide for them? Or can he even see them in their hiding places where they give birth and eat and raise their young? Can Job control the wild animals as though they were domesticated? Does Job give strength to the horse, or can he teach the hawk or the eagle to fly south in the winter, or where to nest, where to build their nests? The effect of God's question is to leave us, awestruck, only in wonder at God's creation, at its majesty, and at the wisdom with which it was made. Tomorrow, we'll hear Job's very humble reply to God's direct question before God goes on with another series of questions. Any thought of self-reliance on Job's part is certainly vanishing, just as the mist vanishes to the morning sun. May God be with you, bless you. Look forward to gathering with you again tomorrow when we will, of course, wrap up the book of Job. As I say, I look forward to meeting with you again.